Today I'm going to do a video. One of the clients that we're working with, my assistant's been chatting with him back and forth, but he's essentially looking to buy his first home. So I want to make this video especially for him, but it's applicable to any first-time home buyer. Colton, here's your shout out. Hope you enjoy the video. But tips for first-time home buying. I just bought a car and went through the home buying, or not the home buying, but the car buying process. Home buying is a little easier for me because I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm in real estate. I know what the numbers are. So it's a little different going into another form of purchasing. So one of the first things that I'd recommend is know how much you actually get qualified for. So the reason you get pre-qualified. So it's tough. I'm writing, this is for left-handed folks, and I'm writing right-handed on a left-handed side. So sorry about the handwriting. But the point is, the first one is to get pre-qualified. I'd recommend getting pre-qualified, talking to a couple of lenders. The lender I typically work with, he doesn't require a hard pull from the very beginning. He just says, okay, cool, pull it up, let's see what your numbers are at, and then we'll run it based off of that, and then you move forward from there. So get pre-qualified, see the range of where you're at and what you want, and then see kind of what's important to you. How long are you guys planning on living in the home? Is it just you and your wife? Is it you and some kids? I mean, what's important to you in the house? Some folks, I just want 100% convenience. I want a newer home that's not going to give me any issues, and I don't care if I have to pay a bit of a premium to get it. Some folks, it's, I want an older home that I think I can do some repairs myself, build up some equity, do some adjustments on my own, and then that way I'm building and growing there, right? So I guess the next one is really to hone in on what you want. What do you want? Is rough. But you go into that, and okay, cool, well, we want that. And based off of the pre-qualification, our monthly payments are X. So it's like, oh, maybe those are tight, but we do want something nicer. But maybe we don't need as much space. So you kind of weigh out those options and see what it is that's going to be the best fit for you. What I recommend to a lot of first-time home buyers, honestly, is if you can, find a house with a mother-in-law apartment, turn it into a legal accessory, or find one that's already a legal accessory, and then rent out a portion. You'll have renters paying a good chunk of your mortgage payment, so it keeps your cost low. And then obviously you're still living in a house, it's yours, you have the real estate working for you. So kind of feeling that out. Some folks really like that option. Some folks say, hey, I don't want neighbors, I don't want people living under me. I mean, maybe neighbors, but I don't want anyone sharing any walls with me. So I need a home for myself. If that's the case, absolutely cheers. And then really honing on what it is that is going to get you where you want. And then again, how long do you plan on being there? Do I want to be there a year, sell it, and then buy another house? Do I want to buy it a year, turn it into a rental, and then buy another house? Am I planning on moving in the near future? I mean, see what that is. And then also what's very important for some folks is the schools in the area. There's a lot of places to check those out. You go ahead and check. I'll put in some of the links at the bottom where you can actually go into those web pages and check out the schools, see how they rank. For a lot of folks, that's very important. If you're a young couple, maybe you don't care as much, but you might care if you're planning on turning it into a rental and say, okay, well, I want rental income, so I want to be able to sell this to renters that have kids. If you don't want to rent it to people who, you'd rather rent to younger couples, and that's kind of your target demographic, although you can't discriminate against people who have kids or who don't have kids. But maybe it's like, okay, the school is not that important to me. But again, weighing out what it is that you're looking for. As an agent, I love helping people find the right fit for them. But when we go through a house, it really helps me to walk through a house with them, even if they're a couple months out from making any decisions, because then I can see what's important to them. Okay, they really like ramblers. They like an open concept. They don't need a whole lot of rooms. They maybe just need 2 or 3 rooms. They definitely need 2 bathrooms. My husband spends hours in the bathroom. Maybe that's the case. I don't know, right? But ultimately, it's going in and walking through homes. So you walk through kind of preemptively, so you know what it is that you're looking for. That way, when you are ready, right? So say you're waiting to, like Colton and his wife, you're waiting to graduate school, and you're waiting until April. Well, you really should be starting to look now in a month, in a pretty near future, so that way when the homes do come on in April, the spring market is going really, really fast and there's a lot more competition. So if you hesitate, a lot of times you end up missing out on a good deal. And the way you can make sure that you're not hesitating is know what it is that you want, and you do that by going out and looking at houses. And another one is finding out what the repair value are going to be on those, right? So these are the top 5 that I walk through on people with their houses. One, I'm going to go on down here, but so I can write with my right hand. One is the roof. And then the next are HVAC are pretty important, right? So you've got your furnace, your AC, your water heater, and then foundation. And in older houses, you might have to worry about your electrical or your plumbing. But that'll be off the video. But those are some of the ones that I look at. In any regular house, I always look at those 5. You know, roofs, depending on if they have a 30-year architectural shingle, if they have one that's nicer, if they have one that's not going to last you as long. I mean, you got to know the age of the roof, because when that rolls around, that's going to be anywhere between $5,000 and $15,000, depending $1,000 to repair, depending on, where you're at. And that's not just $15,000 wrapped up into a loan. That's $15,000 cash out of pocket, and you just need to get it done. There's no way around it. A furnace and an AC, those ones again, depending on how well they're taken care of, they can really last anywhere between 10 and I've seen furnaces that are 40, 50 years old, and they're still pushing strong. Shout out to Bryant; they're a good brand for furnaces, and they tend to do really well. But if they haven't been well cared for, it's okay. The time is limited on these. Even if they're about to die out in 5 years, just keep in mind maybe I should be budgeting a little bit of money on the side to make sure I have money for when those do go out. Right. The other one is the water heater. Right. That one's not as expensive, but it's still a couple $1,000s, and they typically last about anywhere between 8 and 15 years. And then the foundation, this one's it's not often that it's an issue, but when it is an issue, it's extremely expensive. To me, that's a huge red flag, and I almost avoid it completely, because even if you do get it repaired, it's tough to fully repair those things, no issues ever again. It's a bit of a problem. And then your electrical and your plumbing, on older houses, you just have to keep an eye on those. And then 100%, I always recommend get an inspection. It's a couple $100, it's probably $400 or $500, but you're going to know exactly what you're buying and see if there's anything that's huge that is a deal breaker for me. Every house has a million little things, but I always recommend getting a home warranty. And as you go through, I honestly do, obviously I'm an agent, and I recommend finding an agent who's going to work in your best interest. This is one that I see pretty often, is you'll talk to an agent and then you'll sign what's called the buyer-broker agreement. This is, I probably am not very, my opinion here isn't very well liked in the real estate industry. What I do is I always just put it for $1, so if you want to split ways, you just pay me $1. But what a lot of agents will do is they'll put it at 3% and $500, and they'll have a transaction fee on top of the buyer agent commission, or whatever is going on there, and they'll try to have you sign those and get locked into them, so you have to use them as your agent. Again, with mine, if you want to leave, pay me $1. I'm never going to hold anyone hostage so they have to pay me, if they have a friend or somebody else that they want to use as their agent. I want to make it pretty, if you want to work with me, cheers, I'm happy to help. If you don't want to work with me, I'm not going to tie you down. So that's one thing that I see pretty often. A lot of folks end up coming to me later and they're like, hey, I don't like my agent. Hey, I really want you to represent me. I feel like you know what I'm looking for. And then it's tough because I can't do anything if you have that buyer agent agreement signed with somebody else. Sometimes I can negotiate it with them and we can get something done. But in general, it's just easier if you don't sign anything until you're ready to pull the trigger on something. Or if you do sign something, make sure that you're not locking yourself in for too long. And again, if you follow those basic steps, those are a lot of the common issues that you have. I could spend probably 50 an hour talking about different tips and different things to look at. Those are some of the main ones, but if you partner up with the right people, the right agent's going to have the right loan officer that he might be able to refer you out to, and then the right inspector, and then the right title company. You want to make sure you partner up with a team that's going to help you get to where you want to be, and and just make sure you have a nice, clean, smooth, enjoyable transaction rather than being wrapped up in a very, very stressful, unpleasant transaction where you end up overpaying for a property because either your agent couldn't negotiate for you or you just kind of bought the first house that you went into without really narrowing down what it was that was most important to you. So Colton and anyone else who's a first-time home buyer, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to go over those with you, analyze some of the numbers. I won't charge you anything. I just want to help and hopefully win over your business. I mean, if we end up doing business together, absolutely thrilled. If we don't, regardless, I'm still happy to help. So hope this was beneficial video to you. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out. And again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks again.